Okay, here we go. The Waldport Chinook. Yes, that's where we're going. Game 2. Game 2 with the Waldport Chinook. We won the first game. Now we're doing Waldport versus Elizabeth. We're going to play this game. And I think that I'm going to go coach mode off for this one. I'm going to play it. I'm going to see how I do. I have no idea how this is going to go. I can tell you that right now. I wish I had a better thought of what's going to happen here. I genuinely don't. It's been a while since I played in full control, and I'm still on All-American difficulty, I think. I gotta check that out, actually. What am I set at? What's the difficulty? Yeah, CPU All-American kicking varsity. Oh, I should put that to all conference. Maybe I should do this one. Well, CPU All-American, I can't do all conference. I should have gone to all conference. Oh well. And then wait a minute, what's the difficulty? Oh, QB Vision, Hall of Fame varsity intramural. Okay, so this is normal. All that's on. Default kick assist. Okay. Let's go. Let's see how this. I mean, honestly, man, the Blue Jays are such a good team with Rob Bearder. You got Robert Bearder as a QB, and he can run. He can throw. It's one of those things where you just got to figure out, are you good enough on the back end to stop him? Now, I have some really good safeties in Burns, who's making an incredible return on this one. Yeah, check this out. Check you out, bro. Get over here. Oh, I was trying to see if I could pick up a block. Beautiful return. Beautiful return to start the game. It's exactly what you want to see. Look at the weaving. And then he's just so fast. Beautiful. That's how we want to start this game. It says he burns. 54-yard return. Something that I think I would like to talk about just for a minute is the fact that, I see a lot of broadcasters, especially. I shouldn't say people. I see a lot of broadcasters these days talking, I don't want to say non-stop, but speaking often about how good, that was a good play by the corner, about how good Josh Allen is. And let me just say, specifically, Josh Allen is a great quarterback. He makes plays at the end of, especially it seems like at the end of games, that are just spectacular. But the problem I have with that is that there's a guy named Lamar Jackson, River Smith. Can you ask for anything more than that? Did you see the speed and the vision? He gets to the outside. Beautiful blocks picking up here, by the way. Got to give some credit to not just the offensive line he pinned him inside. This guy makes the pickup beautifully. But then up here, we've got our tight end, Salvador Schwen, just getting a twofer right there. Knocking down 42 and then picking up 37. And that just allowed me, this guy right here, Claiborne, making that outside block on the edge, and that's what sprung me. Beautiful. But, yeah, there's a guy named Lamar Jackson who's also playing. And I think it seems like people in the NFL or in the broadcasting circles, they don't seem to be realizing or to be at least talking enough about the fact that he's playing just about at or maybe even slightly above. He's either slightly under or slightly above where he was when he won the NFL MVP a few years ago. Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And this is because, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers was probably the best quarterback in the NFL as far as just sheer talent and ability to do anything he wanted with the football. But recently it seems like he is making his decisions not based on alignment of the offense or the defense, but more based on ayahuasca. He should be making decisions based on alignment, but I think it's the ayahuasca that's actually doing the decision making back there. So that's too bad, because he really was great QB when he's normal. But because he stepped down, Josh Allen is still one of the elite QBs in the league, but Lamar Jackson is the best QB in the league, and I realize that's my opinion, but I think it's also a pretty defensible, because when you look at what he's doing, Futral, yeah, another big special teams return. He's leaving guys in the dust. Gets all the way back down to the 25-yard line. Beautiful return. But no, if you look at what Lamar Jackson is doing, Josh Allen tends to make incredible, like I said, spectacular, mind-bending plays at the end of games. And it's a joy to watch. It really is. But the thing with River Smith again with pickup, and he's gonna go in again. What a run! And you got to give Aloha Macchiato as well credit for that nice pitch. That was great decision making on the outside. He just tossed it back, draws him in, and then tosses it out. And he goes and makes the block right there too. He stays in and he goes out and makes the block. That's nice. Field goal. But yeah, if you look at Lamar Jackson makes spectacular plays at the beginning of games. And I think that's the interesting thing. Lamar Jackson never seems to have, that sort of, what do you want to call it, that fourth quarter comeback king type of power. He's more just like hey, I'll do this at the beginning of the game, and by the end of the game, you just can't catch up. That's kind of where they're at now. It's crazy. Lamar Jackson does stuff, and I think this is the other thing too. Lamar Jackson does stuff that is almost difficult to understand on a regular basis. He doesn't do it every now and then. He just does it so often that you actually sort of take for granted what's happening. And that's something that just, I haven't seen that. It's like Lamar Jackson, between what he does with his legs and with his passing ability, it's the same effect in my mind, though not the same thing. But it's the same effect as far as how did he just do that Dan Marino used to have when I was watching him growing up. Dan Marino would make these throws that you're like, what? Where did the ball even come from? It's just kind of this weird, it plays tricks with your head. And Lamar Jackson now, oh no, there goes Bearder. Yep, see, this is what I mean, man. You got to be prepared to try to stop this. Robert Bearder, man. What was that? That's just that inside. Ugh. Single wing is hard to defend against. It really is. I don't know what I'll do. I'll have to put some extra muscle over there. But yeah, I just think, if you look at what Lamar Jackson does, it just blows. Oh, this time it passed. Yeah, you don't know who's gonna get the ball on any given play. Yeah, okay, that was a big hole. That was a big crease. He could have sailed a yacht through there. Could have portaged a yacht through there. Anyway, but yeah, Lamar Jackson does stuff on a regular basis that just isn't really. It's not really easy to understand. It's not even. You're not even sure of what you're seeing. The way he just kind of runs around, makes guys miss in the backfield 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden he's throwing the ball downfield or he's taking off sprinting. And I think the thing that because he does it at regular intervals in a game, you almost sort of lose respect for it in a way. You almost kind of lose the sense of awe, like, how did he just do that? Oh, well, he always does that. You kind of start taking it for granted that well, that's just how he plays. It almost becomes like a function of his game, and people don't, commentators especially seem to not really start talking about, hey, it's weird that he can just do that. It's weird that Lamar Jackson can just sort of take off at any given moment and not like scramble for a few yards where you're like, where you're worried about what's going to happen. But you see him take off and you're like, he could go all the way. He could carry that ball all the way to the end zone. And he just does it so regularly that it's almost like, well, he's supposed to do that. He's Lamar Jackson. That's just what he does. But that sort of takes away the, what am I actually seeing? What am I looking at here? Kind of sensibility about it. And I think that's harmful to his perception. Because you see Josh Allen, and there's a black-white thing there too. I don't put a whole bunch of stock into that. I think race does not play as big a factor. I think the teams that they play on and all that are also an influence and everything. I don't want to get into that very much because I just don't think it's the main catalyst. I think really, honestly, Josh Allen does the most amazing plays of his game are done usually in the fourth quarter. With Lamar Jackson, the most amazing plays of his game are usually done just random intervals throughout a game. No, I thought it was gonna. Nice job, McIntyre. And I think it just sort of, with Josh Allen, it's always, look at this spectacular play at the end of the game that helped the Bills win the game. With Lamar Jackson, it's, he did this in the first quarter, then he did this in the second quarter, he did this in the third quarter. And you just kind of become desensitized to how wildly spectacular he's actually doing. Like he's actually playing this game in a truly spectacular fashion. There you go, Macchiato. And people just kind of start to get almost weary of it. Like it's hard for them to recognize what they're seeing. And I don't think we've ever seen a quarterback do that. I would take Lamar Jackson right now over Patrick Mahomes. I would take Lamar Jackson over literally any quarterback in the league. If I were going to start a team and you give me a fantasy draft, okay, you pick the best players you can of those who are playing right now. I would pick Lamar Jackson, just unquestionably. Ooh, almost got off the sideline. He's doing things that, again, I think at some point there will be a look back, a retrospective on what he was doing at this time. And it might be in a couple years. It might be it might be next month. I don't know. But at some point, people are going to start looking at what's actually going on with him, and they're going to start realizing that it's hard to describe what it is actually that you're seeing. It's hard to describe just how dominant, and I think a word that's used too often, but just how remarkable and unique. There we go, Schwen. Touchdown. It's hard to understand just how good he actually is. Words that come to mind, or names that come to mind: Otto Graham, Johnny Unitas, Jim Thorpe, although Jim Thorpe didn't play quarterback, but just that kind of otherworldly feel to what he's doing. Norm Van Brocklin. Names like that where it's just this almost like out of the past sense of not just success, but skill, talent, ability, the kind of thing that people hadn't seen before. And when you actually are faced with it, when you're actually forced to sit down and look at it, you're like, how does this even happen? And that to me is something that's really interesting. And I do get irritated. I will say that when I see people talking all the time about Josh Allen, it just seems like that to me. I'm sure there are other places where people are like, what are you talking about? They always talk about Lamar Jackson. Nobody's talking about Josh Allen like they talk about Lamar Jackson. In my experience, I just see more TV coverage given to Josh Allen. I could be wrong. I could be, just recency bias or confirmation bias on my part. I don't know. But from what I've seen, it just seems like I hear about Josh Allen more than I hear about Lamar Jackson. And Well, I do think Josh Allen's an incredible quarterback. I just don't see. I don't think he's in the same realm as Lamar Jackson right now. And I realize that Lamar Jackson doesn't have. I think their record. What are they at now? They have a winning record, but they're not super high up in the division. But a lot of that has to do with their defense. The Ravens' defense this year is not the Ravens' defense of the years past. It's been very shaky at times. And so that puts a lot of pressure on a guy like Lamar Jackson to actually perform better than usual. But he's done it. That's the weird part. Like, he shouldn't have to have that pressure, and yet he has it, and he's just working with it. There we go, Washington. Wow, look at the fullback. Look at the fullback jiggle down the field. Dive so you don't fumble. That was beautiful. Man, I'm playing on All-American difficulty and just running on these guys. Just running down the field on them. That was amazing. Eat my drone assistance distance measured dust. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Just run it this way. There we go. Whoop. Nope. You're not faster than River Smith. Dive. Oof. Glad you didn't fumble. Nice run. But yeah, I think it's really special. I mean, from a football perspective, from a real life perspective, it's not special at all. He's just playing football. He's just playing a game. It's not actually like, this is the least important stuff people ever get excited about. But it is interesting to watch and see how he's actually doing it. Oh boy, let me just go outside. That got clogged up real fast. So yeah, Lamar Jackson he's my pick for MVP currently. Everybody else who I see out there, I mean, some guys are playing excellent football, by the way. I mean, Jared Goff actually is playing excellent football for the most part. There are a number of guys playing really great football, but as far as doing as much as Lamar Jackson does, I don't see anybody else doing that right now. And if Josh Allen were to get the MVP, I probably wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be too upset, but I would disagree with the decision. I know that because he's just so good defense. Because what Lamar Jackson is doing, well, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Is so unheard of. It's just so unheard of. He's setting records regularly. Like for his all-purpose yardage per year, his rushing and receiving, it's dumb. It's really dumb. I don't even like when you actually think about what it is he's doing. When you actually look at how many yards per game is he passing, how many yards per game is he rushing, how many touchdowns does he account for per game? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I realize he's not setting touchdown records or anything like that. But the consistency year after year that he's scoring, 40 touchdowns? 35, 40 touchdowns a year? That's crazy. Between rushing and passing, the number of touchdowns he scores per year is just stupid. It is stupid. Let me look up his stats actually. I'm gonna check this out because I want to know, because I think Josh Allen might actually be scoring more TDs than him this year. I gotta double check that, but yeah, he's got 34 touchdowns passing right now. Lamar Jackson does 34 touchdowns passing. And then what's he got receiving? So passing, he's got 34 TDs right now. And then rushing, 3 TDs. So he's got 37 TDs. And he's got 3 interceptions. he's got 3 interceptions, 37 TDs on the year. That's just nuts. I mean, wow. Rob Bearder. What a play. What did he just, do? Yeah. Stiff armed a sack into the ground. That was a Lamar Jackson play right there from Robert Bearder. Robert Bueter just pushed a guy down, and then, man, that's nuts. Push a guy to the ground, throw the ball. That's nuts. That's cuckoo. Let me look at Josh Allen's stats this year. He has 25-5. 25-5. So Lamar Jackson has 2 fewer interceptions, 9 more touchdowns than Josh Allen this year. That's where we're at with that. It's crazy. He's got 120 passer rating for the year. For the year, his passer rating is at 120.7. That's cuckoo. That's absolute chaotic madness. The guy shouldn't even be allowed to play in the league. They should make a special league for him. Because, oh man, nice run. Because that's crazy what he's doing right now. Yeah. So I get the arguments that people are making. I get the coverage of Josh Allen, but I think that I see too much Josh Allen. I don't see enough Lamar Jackson. I don't see enough talk about him. I don't see enough acknowledgement of just how insane, and I'm saying insane, what he's doing actually is. 3,580 yards, 3,580 yards from him. Josh Allen has 3,395. In every statistical category, Lamar Jackson is he's not just beating people, he's clubbing the league. He's clubbing the league like a baby seal. Just clubbing them like a turtle, like a soft shell turtle. Those horrible comparisons. But he can do whatever he wants. And nobody can stop him. Nobody stops him. And a lot of that has to do with his team. I don't want to take anything away from his team. His offensive line is playing much better this year than last. And that's been a huge help. Last year was a down year for him. And he was still pretty good. Like, he was still really good. This year he's come back because he's just got that much more confidence in his offensive line, and he's just going nuts. He has, how many rushing yards does he have this year? How many passing? What are his rushing yards? Yeah, so 2024 so far, he's got 743 yards. Is that right? He's got 743 yards. 55 yards per game, 6.4 yards per carry. That's nuts. They've still got games to go. How many games do they have to go? They got 3 games to go. They got 3 games to go, and those are the numbers he's putting up. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He could conceivably, it's not a good probability, but he could possibly reach 1,000 yards this year. And he's already got 3,500 yards passing. So, like, what do you do with that? Almost 3,600 yards passing. What do you do with that? I watch games with Lamar Jackson, and I can't figure out, like, what would a defensive coordinator even do to try to get out on the field with him, to try to start doing something to contain him. It's almost impossible, and especially since his wide receivers this year are playing better than at any time in the past. They really are. The wide receiver situation is still not ideal. He doesn't have like a truly Hall of Fame type receiver, but I mean, it's so much better than what it was that guys are actually catching the ball, for one thing. They've still got a number of drops, but it's just reduced. The number of drops is reduced for him. I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely don't know how you get to a point where you can contain that man. Got it. By the way, this play, when run correctly, no can defend. No, that's Karate Kid. So because I saw them lined up with overloaded this side, that's what made me want to go back to this side. Boom. Got it. I love that. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, Lamar Jackson is to me, he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. By a good margin. I will say by a pretty spectacular margin. So, oof, River Smith didn't get there. It's been crazy to watch the decline of Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers, just a year ago, a year and a half, well, yeah, a year ago, I was saying he was the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Aaron Rodgers could throw the football. When you look at what he does with the football, where he places the ball in, in prior years, it's unparalleled, really. His accuracy, his touch, his skill in throwing the football and making reads even. There's nobody else I can think of who I could compare him to. He's just, he's a singular. He was a singular player in his time, better than Tom Brady in terms of skill with the ball. But Aaron Rodgers never did have the inspirational ability, the team aspect that Tom Brady had. Tom Brady is the best culture quarterback to ever play the game, and in that way, he's the winningest quarterback to ever play the game, and that's why. Because Tom Brady, even though he didn't have the strongest arm, even though he didn't have the most precise passing, he was an excellent passer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to denigrate his ability to throw the football. It just, he wasn't as good at it as Aaron Rodgers. But Tom Brady was able to inspire his team and to get the absolute best out of every player on offense. That's why it's hard for me. I never liked the Patriots, was never a Tom Brady fan. And also, just watching him play, I was never like, that guy's amazing. He's doing things that other guys can't do. But you have to admit, I have to admit Tom Brady is the greatest culture quarterback of all time, and because of that, because culture is so important in football. If you want to call him the greatest quarterback of all time, you can. I understand it. I have no problem with it, because even whatever he lacked, so to speak, just using that word because I don't know of any other I can use right now. But whatever he didn't have, that's what I'll say. Whatever he didn't have, Bearder, this guy, deadly in the single wing. Put this guy in the single wing. Look at this. It's like Tim Tebow. Oh, I missed the tackle. Anyway, but I digress. Tom Brady, whatever he didn't have in the arm strength department, in the accuracy, pinpoint accuracy department, all that stuff, he more than made up for in culture. Just his ability to make his offense do everything to their absolute best ability. To perform in crunch situations as the clock is running down, you're behind, he would make his guys play up to their absolute. One of my favorite things, as far as like what did Tom Brady do best, you have that audio of, I think, Julio Jones and someone else talking on the sideline at the Super Bowl. They were leading by 28-3, and they're talking about, man, this is a big lead. I can't believe we're doing this. And when the other guy goes, yeah, that's Tom Brady on the other side, though. That's number 12 still out there. And it's true. Something about that guy. Didn't matter the score. He was going to make sure that his team played. And that's why they won so many times. So much they won because of that. And that's the kind of thing where I think when you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, what he doesn't necessarily always have, he does inspire his team. I'm not saying he's not a good leader, blah, 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 leadership and stuff like that. A lot of people talk about it like it's some magical, mystical thing. I think Lamar Jackson does not get on his players the same way that Tom Brady did. He does not identify, I think, what guys aren't doing correctly as quickly as Tom Brady did. Tom Brady would see something and he would immediately, every play, he was like, you do this, get on a guy. You can't let us down like this again. He was always out there, always talking. I mean, I'm sure Tom Brady probably irritated his team as much as anybody else could have. I think it would have gotten tiresome playing for Tom Brady at quarterback. But oh, I just blew that. But you know, it worked. you, it's football is so results oriented that you can't argue with what works. He definitely made it work. So I just think, you know, a guy like Lamar Jackson, when people talk about, oh, he's not a very good quarterback, I think he's an incredible quarterback. And I just think leadership wise, he's not as, I think he does talk to players. I think he does everything that a leader's supposed to do. I'm just not sure that he is as demanding. Oh, that was, Bearder made a mistake. Bearder threw the ball back, thought he was going to pitch it. Thought he was going to outsmart the tackle. I mean, he had a lane. He should have just kept going. He should have just kept going. He got nervous. That was a terrible play on his part. But yeah, I think the one thing that Lamar Jackson needs in order to be truly, you know, like the most dominant quarterback in the win column. Oh, look at the moves. Sheer running down the field. I think he just needs to, I think he needs to make his players play better. I think he needs to get his receivers, you know, if they drop a pass, he needs to be on them. And not in a mean way. I think guys, you know, a lot of people are like, you should be yelling, you should be more vocal, but just letting him know some way, a way that works for him and is in line with his personality. Just say, hey, you need to do that better. I think that's what he needs. Find a way to do that, because the culture aspect is important. The team morale aspect, the what are you asking of your players and what are you able to make them do, all of that stuff truly is important. They left Sheer open. They did not close that outside edge off quickly enough. I love it. Could not be happier about it. But yeah, I mean, it is crazy to me. I just think every time I watch a game, I'm just like, what are these guys seeing that I'm not? Because, well, I do like Josh Allen. Ciccione. Oh, did he not get in? I mean, okay. Seems like maybe you guys are rigged. You guys are trying to rig this game. Well, forget it, because we're scoring right here. I just think, you know, Lamar Jackson is so good. Such an incredible quarterback right now. I can't believe that he's not just being talked about all the time. I see so much going on there. But, you know, the truth is, just like with Dan Marino, Dan Marino was the best passer I've ever seen. Nobody ever threw a ball better than Dan Marino. Aaron Rodgers was the closest I've seen to Dan Marino since Dan Marino retired. But it doesn't matter. The vast majority of people, all they care about is wins. That's how they gauge football games, and the player's ability to win is really how good he is. I think that's crazy for a game that relies on 11 men to be in synchronization at all times. I don't think wins are not a QB stat. But because of the nature of the game, a lot of people never take the time to learn the game well enough to understand what's actually going on. So for them, it's did he win or did he lose? So with Marino is one of the best QBs you've ever seen. One of the top 3 QBs ever. Dan Marino. And yet, he doesn't get viewed by a lot of people today as such because he didn't win a Super Bowl. So, which is just wild to me, but I understand that's how fans view the game. I think that could happen to Lamar Jackson if he doesn't win a Super Bowl. And not just a Super Bowl. If he doesn't win more than 1 Super Bowl, if he doesn't win 2 Super Bowls or 3 Super Bowls, people aren't even going to consider him in terms of, they aren't going to view him as being as good as Brady. They aren't going to view him as being, or even in the same league. They won't even view him as being as good as Montana. And part of that too, to some extent, again, I don't like to put too much emphasis on it because I think it's overblown in some cases, but some of that is because of his skin color. I mean, growing up in the 90s, there was one black quarterback in the league. His name was Randall Cunningham, and people didn't respect him. Lamar Jackson, when he was coming out of college, people were asking him to switch to wide receiver, running back. Why? Because he's black, and because to them black meant athletic. Because of Randall Cunningham. Of course, Doug Williams wasn't that athletic, but people still sort of associated it with that. It's ridiculous. It is stupid, but it is the reality. So, and you just kind of have to deal with reality sometimes, even unpleasant realities like that. And that's the NFL. That's human nature. For Lamar Jackson, his skin color does present an obstacle going forward. How is he going to be viewed in terms of the history of the game? For me personally, as somebody who just looks at the game, he's changed it forever. He's changed it. He's really changed football forever. Oh man, I thought I was going to get in. River Smith again with a huge run. Lovely run. Look at that. Okay, this play is so much fun. I could have gone outside here with Macchiato. If I had gone outside, I probably would have gotten to the edge. This guy would have come down. I don't know. I didn't have any blockers. Once I got past there, I don't have any blockers in front of me. In this case, though, I had two blockers out here. So the middle linebacker definitely got picked up by Colano. And then I've got Pope, my tackle, out there, just leading the way. So, man, what a great run. Anyway, but I mean, honestly, all these plays right now that you're seeing, the option plays in here. You had guys like Mariota when he came into the league, and you had even more than that. You had Russell Wilson. They were running that a lot. These plays were being run before Lamar Jackson ever got into the league. Oh, wow, they had that locked up. But you never saw them run to the extent that they've been run with Lamar Jackson and guys like Kyler Murray and all those. But all of that is because of the play of guys like, the play of guys like Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson has really shown just how effective that can be. I wish, there are a number of guys who I think in the league could have been much better than they were if they'd gotten into a system like what the Ravens created for Lamar Jackson. I think even Mariota and other guys. Mariota could have been better. Jake Locker, I think Jake Locker would have been interesting to see. He had pretty good foot speed. People don't realize that, but in a system that utilized more option, I think guys like that could have been better, than what they actually were. Locker had other issues, of course. Decision making down the field was sometimes really bad. But all of that is it's guys like Lamar Jackson that have created the demand for these quarterbacks who can run and throw. And that's why the game has become much more interesting to watch from a strategic standpoint, because they're stretching the defense, they're using leverage, making movement, not just in the pass game, but also in the run game. And so that's where you get some really explosive runs, some really explosive passes even, because you can now fake like you're going to do an option run and then throw a pass downfield, and there's just never-ending options that you can have in how you attack a defense. And that's really an interesting that's really an interesting development in the game in the past 15 years. But where it began 15 years ago, it's really accelerated in the past 7. And I think it will continue to accelerate further. Because you want a guy who can, it's like having a queen on a chessboard. The queen can go as many spaces as they want in all different directions. And that's kind of what a mobile QB gives you. It's not just a king who can only stand back in the pocket and try to throw downfield. A mobile QB, a truly mobile QB, can attack too. And that's what Lamar Jackson does. So the game has changed forever because of that. because of that potential and the recognition of, oh my goodness, look at this guy. Look at this. Look at the Rob Bearders of the world have changed football forever. The Robert Bearders of this world. Man, that's tough to defend. Somebody needs to start. You know, the Saints have that Taysom Hill package. Look at the blocking. Look at it. Oh man, it's rough. That is rough. Yeah. And then this guy 22 coming downfield just to take on safety. Yeah. I mean, that's an example right there. Like, football has so many different patterns, so many different ways to do things. It is surprising to me that the NFL doesn't try that many. The NFL just tries. The NFL steals little things here and there. Guys like Dan Campbell. Well, I mean, Brian Johnson? What's his offensive coordinator's name? Mike McDaniel, his offensive coordinator. They use a lot of wing T stuff. They are willing to use different things. The Saints have that Taysom Hill package where basically it's a single wing. The Saints run a single wing with Taysom Hill, and it's really nice when they run it right. That thing's hard to defend. Oh, you got it. Okay. But they don't do it very much. They don't commit to it for an offense, and that's understandable. I think it would be hard if you don't trust Taysom Hill to throw the ball down the field. Oh, I gotta call timeout. That surprised me. If you don't trust your quarterback to throw the ball down the field now and then, that can be really tough. So I think they just don't have enough faith in Taysom Hill's ability to manage the offense in a passing situation. I think if they had that confidence in him, you'd see a very different way of playing football from them. And I think it would be effective. Taysom Hill is a big, strong guy. He's a Tim Tebow type. And I think Tebow, if you had put him in that kind of offense where he's able to run, basically what becomes a fullback, tailback power. Yeah, all that stuff is different. But, I mean, if you just had him running power runs inside and outside and throwing the ball on a jump pass now and then, he could have been pretty effective. I think if you had let him run that Florida offense, he could have been something else. At least better than what he ended up being. But I think with Taysom Hill, it's the same deal. And there are so many more creative plays in that kind of offense that haven't even been used. That's the part to me. The Saints use all this stuff that's basically power runs with Taysom Hill, but they don't use the misdirection stuff as much. And with an offense like that, you can really put a defense on his heels when you run your quarterback, who's actually playing more of an old single wing fullback position. When you run him outside now and then, all of a sudden do a pitch back to the wing, now you've got the defense really questioning themselves on the edges. And they don't do that. They never run the wing back and the trap and all that stuff. At least not that I've seen. I haven't studied the Saints very much, but it's just weird that there's so many more things that could be done that aren't. You could do a lot more than what you're doing. Oh, did I get? Oh, I thought I might have it. That would have been a nice downfield catch on his part. Let's go spacing. I do think that the NFL could be much better. Could be much better on the football side. Oh, I got X. Ciccione. There we go. But yeah, it's an interesting year for football. Interesting year. I hope that the announcers start talking more about just how remarkable what's going on with Lamar Jackson truly is. Because it's special. There we go. Get downfield, Macchiato. He's got 53 yards. He's playing a Lamar Jackson kind of game. He's doing a good job. Let's run strafe. Yeah. But I can hit X. I bet we're gonna get a rub. Yep. Oh. Ooh. Let's see what happened there. So trying to get him. Oh, didn't quite take away the... I probably could have thrown earlier. Yeah. But I mean, this guy right up here, who is this? Really nice. Oh, yeah, okay. Agility 74, agility 70. Yeah. They were just neck and neck. I really do think Lamar Jackson deserves... He deserves the MVP this year. Got it. Touchdown. So Waldport beating up on Elizabeth. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. We're up by 18. 19 now. 45-26. Let's kick to the right. Doop. Oh, just a bit outside. This is fun, man. The College Bowl, I think it's $17.49 right now on Steam. I just saw today that it's the winter sale. So this is on sale. I don't know. I've seen people who've given it, not recommended reviews on Steam for weird reasons. Truly weird reasons sometimes. Other guys will never be happy with anything that's not ultra photorealistic graphics and official NCAA licensing and all that stuff. But for me, football-wise, this game has a lot to offer. Truly a lot to offer. A unique play style. And I do like the way that the 2D graphics work out on the field. I think that it's far more fun than people are willing to. For some people, it just will never be fun unless they have those particular type of graphics. For me, the graphics, honestly, have become more problematic over the years. It doesn't feel as fun. Too many glitches. There's glitches in this game too. I guess I shouldn't worry about the glitches that much because this game has them too. But I just truly enjoy playing this game rather than... I have no need for Madden, have no need for NCAA 25 even. Nope. Nope. I was right there. I'm coming after you personally, yeah. Also, this game has a sense of fun. That's the other thing I think. It doesn't take itself so seriously. It really does have a sense of fun with the game. Oh, there we go. Whew, Macchiato. Is Macchiato going to go in for the score? He is. Oh my goodness, I didn't even mean to do that. He just went wild, man. Just went wild. 37 yards on that one. Look at the blocking. Once again, that crease. That was beautiful. That was remarkable. This right here, this guy knocking down 37, then coming up to create that little crease right there. Good blocking, Murray. And then making the cut and having him get picked up by the tight end. Whew, that is some pretty, and that's what I mean right there. I mean, that's some fun blocking, and it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you lose yardage. I've lost yardage on several plays this game, but that's the part where it really does feel like college football. It really does. The back and forth, and then a stronger team like what I am a stronger team than Elizabeth University. Waldport is strong, but that's what it should be like. You should be better than the other team if you're playing with a better team, and this game does that. I love the plays in here. Most of them. Some of them aren't as great, but that's real life too. But you get used to it and you figure out, okay, here's what I want to do. Here's how I want to attack this defense. When you start figuring out which plays work well against which looks, it becomes much more it becomes more fun. It becomes more fun. But no, I mean, this game, 1749, it's better than, at 1749, it's better than Madden. For that price, it's better than Madden. And what I mean by that is the value you get for what you pay is better. It's just a better deal. But a lot of people won't see it that way because of the graphics. And that's too bad. I wish people would give it a real honest chance, because this game's a blast. It's a blast. And especially now you can take, when you can export draft classes and put them into Legend Bowl, it just becomes that much more interesting. Wow, DeMar O'Reilly knocked that pad. That was nice. He tried to get it off, but just blocked that to the ground. I do hope more people give the game a shot, and I hope they, not just well, I guess I'll play it, I'll try it once, but an honest to goodness shot, an honest to goodness look. How do we, find out how the game works, find out how the ratings affect player behavior and player performance, and really figure out, okay, how can, start trying to build a team, start trying to make a team the best you can make it. And I think you'll find, a lot of people will find that, no, this game has a lot to offer, and it really is quite fun. It really is unpredictable, and that makes it more interesting than your typical football simulator, quote unquote. So, got it. I don't know if anybody watched, there's a Madden documentary on Prime, Amazon Prime. It was interesting. And again, I don't hate Madden. I'm not a guy who's like, buy this, not Madden. There we go. Nice. I think Madden is a perfectly fine game. I just don't want to spend that kind of money on it. For what it is, I don't think it's not worth it to me personally. I would have to buy a console, and then I'd have to buy the game, and then there's a bunch of skins and all that stuff. I don't have the time to keep up with that trash. I just want to play football. That's really it. And I think that, there we go, Shear. Oh, Shear's gonna score now. I'm just gonna, no. This is the point where I've got to just run out the clock. Yeah. Mary. Let's go, Neil. But yeah, if you watch that, it is interesting. I mean, Madden, from when it started out to where it hit 2004, 2005, 2006, up to 2008, you really have to, it really is amazing how good that game was. How good it became from what it was in the very beginning to what it became. Just amazing. The fact that Madden has, I think the biggest issue for a lot of people, and for me personally, the fact that Madden keeps taking out features and then reintroducing them later as if it was something new. That's such bad treatment of your customers. To think that A, they're stupid and they won't notice that the features were taken out and reintroduced. And then B, to think that they'll be happy to receive them once you've taken them out and given them back. It's just weird. 397 rushing yards, 108 passing yards. This is my ideal game, by the way. Deep at heart, I'm a flexbone and wishbone type of player where I want my guys running 400 yards a game. Absolutely, I'll take that. River Smith, look at that. 16 for 118, 3 TDs. Man, that's a good game. That's a good game. Macchiato, 9 of 14. If you could win a game with 14 pass attempts, you're winning not just at the game, but at life. 14 pass attempts, bring that down to 10 pass attempts. Yeah, still good. 64%, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Meanwhile, Bearder, 8 for 20, but had a touchdown pass. And then down here, look at this. Look at that, man. That's the power of a mobile quarterback. He's a freshman, too. He's going to be a problem for years to come. Years. What is his 87, 93 speed, 94 agility, 88 strength. The guy is an absolute menace. 89 intelligence. Whew, he's just, that guy's a star. He's already a star. I'm gonna end this game. Yeah. Oh, what? No, wait. I want to check something real quick. Player stats. So, my tight end, my halfback, my wide receiver, and a halfback, and a halfback. Interesting. Okay. That's just what I wanted to know. So, my tight end, how was I distributing my targets? He had 5 targets. He had 2, and he had 3. Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side, tight end, halfback, fullback, wide receiver. Interesting. All right. That's it. So, we're 2-0. We're 2-0. Let's go to league schedule. Finish this week out. Let's take a look at the stats. League leaders. For yards, 800 yards for JoJo Burry. 61 of 80, 7 TDs, 3 picks. He's having himself a season. Here's Lachlan. Really good QB. 6 TDs, 1 pick. Burton, Scannell, Zuniga. Where is Macchiato? The big handicap for Macchiato is that I'm controlling him. So, poor guy. Can't catch a break. I'm going to ruin his Heisman campaign. Did I miss it? No, there he is right there. 94.3 rating. 240 yards. Yeah, that guy. Poor guy. Sorry. But he's doing great in the run game. Shrub, Burrow. Where were my guys? Wingcord, Dokes. Chico de Oro, that guy's good. Oh wow, Shears at 173. What about River Smith? She should be down here. So wait. Where did I miss him at? Because he should be down. Oh, there he is. 7 yards per carry, 4 TDs already. He's doing great. I wonder where Macchiato is on the yardage chart. Oh, there he is. He's got 92 yards, 4 yards of carry, and 2 TDs. So he's doing good there. Receptions. Alright. 4 TDs. Sacks. Whew, Holyfield, Sharkowski, 4 each. And what about interceptions? Wow, 3 for Carter already. So after 2 weeks, he's got 3 picks. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. And I will do a watch game with the with my team in the Legend Bowl and the pros next. But right now, be safe, be sane. Goodbye.